All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kris Kuyper. I'm in the FOX26 Weather Center, and we just want to give you a little weather update on the fact that we've got some pretty strong thunderstorms going on in parts of the valley right now. And first and foremost, you see moving into the west side of Fresno as we speak here, a pretty healthy line of thunderstorms coming on through. Could be some lightning in there right here on the west side of town, still west of Highway 41. You can see kind of some cells hugging their Highway 99, and this action is generally moving like this pattern, I do believe. You know what? Let's just put this into motion. You see the activity. Oh, my bad. It's going off towards the more towards the west and northwest in a fashion like that. Had some strong thunderstorms in Visalia earlier on. Now that you're seeing the activity going on across our region, you know what? Let's make this a little bit shorter here in like that, just the past couple of hours. And you can see the thunderstorms developing over Madera County, developing over parts of western Fresno County, and continuing to march off towards the east. And so pretty much most of Fresno itself is going to be dealing with locally heavy rain for a short amount of time, potentially a little pea-sized hail out there as well, and some gusty winds and some of these storms coming on through. And it looks like, again, as you take a look at it right, marching right there, it's a line of pretty healthy thunderstorms at the moment. If we see it, boy, if we see this this center part right here, if we see this kind of bowing out anymore, that might be indications of a bow echo, but I don't quite see that quite yet. Still, some very heavy rain going on in that area right about now. Now, if we go a little further to the north, we have a tornado warning in effect here across. This is let's see right here. This part here is Madera County, and then this up here is towards Stanislaus County, and up here is Tuolumne County right here to get your bearings. This is out pretty remote country here, about 15, 20 miles northeast of Atwater in that region there. But again, watching this area here, this thunderstorm right here, earlier on, it seemed like it was a little bit stronger, although still not the strongest storm in the world that we've seen, but certainly at times did have a little radar indicated rotation with it. If we take a look at this, and then let's take a look at something called the velocity, which shows the winds moving towards and away from the radar. And you know what, I'll remove the warning there. And if we watch that very carefully, what we can see sometimes is when you have these areas of green, like this one right here, and then if they're right on top of an area of red, and there's a real strong correlation between the two, that's going to show you that your winds are going to the radar site and away from the radar site in a very short area there. And if that's pretty strong, that is something meteorologists look at to see if there's rotation within the storm. Looking at this right here, boy, it doesn't look tremendous to me, but you know, the folks at the Weather Service, they know what they're doing, so we'll go with that. And again, if there's anything, it's going to be right in this area here, I would think. That's what kind of looks like it to me, as far as that activity goes. But it doesn't look especially strong, so it doesn't look like there's really violent rotation or anything super strong as far as rotation goes. But still, we do have a tornado warning in effect, so certainly be of that, and especially if you're in this part of Merced County right here, or this part of Stanislaus County, or here again, Tuolumne County, or into parts of Mariposa County. It looks like north of Mariposa itself would be any kind of threat. And these storms often, when they start to push into the foothills, they usually weaken. At least any kind of rotation would certainly weaken as well. That's something we'll certainly watch in that region there. Let's just go back to the radar now. And you can see that one little lone thunderstorm there, just kind of all by itself, right here on the Merced and Stanislaus County line, approaching Mariposa County as well. But that's not the only game in town. There are lots of other thunderstorms going on across the region. No, that's the only system that's got any kind of warning with it. Let's put the warnings back on now that we have taken a look at that. And you look at a little further out, and again, lots of thunderstorms in other areas, but nothing is deemed strong enough to have a severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning with that. Visalia has had a pretty decent line of thunderstorms move on through. You can see just a little bit ago, and certainly looks like it did a lot of rain there for a short amount of time. Activity is quieting on down now, but boy, it seems to be refiring here pretty quickly, so wouldn't be surprised if we see more activity going on there. And in Visalia itself, a lot of rain in a short amount of time. about 2/10 of an inch of rain fell there, boy, in about 10 minutes or so, 10 or 15 minutes. That's a lot of rain coming on down there in 10 or 15 minutes, 2/10 of an inch of rain. That was about an hour ago or so from now. And again, continuing to watch this line of showers and thunderstorms moving their way here right into Fresno, right around now. So if it's not raining at your place at the moment, boy, just give it a little bit of time. It's certainly moving on through, coming on in. A little further off towards the southwest, you see also more thunderstorms developing and off towards Parkville Air Station out there in the next hour or so. That's something also we'll have to keep an eye on. There's a lot of lightning going on and all this activity here as well, and a lot of heavy rain going on with all these storms as they move on through. Again, Visalia picked up about 2/10 of an inch of rain, and let's check out with Madera, how much Madera picked up when they got their pretty healthy thunderstorm there just a little bit ago. And if we do that, we can see that, well, it came down fast and furious, but didn't put down a whole lot of rain. Just a few hundredths of an inch of rain there at the airport there, but other places in town I'm sure got a bit more than that. And if we zoom out a little bit more, we can see also more thunderstorms further north. Again, more thunderstorms trying to develop in parts of Stanislaus County and in parts of here's Stanislaus County and then parts of San Joaquin County also. Still a little bit of action going on, and its activity is generally going to be pushing on southward. So I think we're going to be dealing with these scattered showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon here. They'll finally start to weaken as we get towards sunset tonight, but for the time being, looking like we're dealing with those thunderstorms out there, and they certainly are capable of putting down a lot of rain, some pea-sized hail, and maybe even a funnel cloud or two. Now, the storm is relatively cold, so it's going to be generating a bit of hail, potentially pea, maybe dime-sized hail or so. And we could get something called a cold air funnel out of some of these, which is where we see these funnel clouds dropping from the clouds, but many times, if not almost all, don't want to say always, but many times, they slide back up into the cloud and they never touch down. That's the dominant feature is they'll show and then they'll kind of go. And so but they don't really ever touch down for the most part. So a very small percentage of them touch down. So if you see one, it certainly want to treat it as give it respect and any kind of preparations you need to make for a tornado or whatever, make those. But keep in the back of your mind that a lot of times these are not going to be touching down. This is not Alabama, this is not Kansas or anything like that. This is California, and our severe weather is not quite as violent as it is in other places in the United States. Again, looking a little further to north up towards Merced County and towards Tuolumne County. Again, you see some pretty strong thunderstorms there. And again, the activity out of that one thunderstorm, which still has had a tornado warning with it, but it looks like that has expired. That cell right there earlier on does not have the tornado warning with it anymore. That has been allowed to expire. So, excuse me. So none of these storms that we have firing right now have any warnings with them, but still they are capable of putting down a lot of rain in a short amount of time. And that's what we're going to be dealing with, what we are dealing with here on the west side of Fresno. And that line of thunderstorms moving through Fresno, let's just get right on in town here. And looks like it's starting to press closer towards, closer towards Clovis here now, as is, at least to the northern part of it right here, starting to press into Clovis, and the southern part, still marching its way off towards the east-southeast. And that looks like the strong part of the storm, and that looks like the part of the storm that's putting down heavier rainfall and maybe a little bit of hail out there as well. In fact, let's see if we can't see any of that. Don't really see any of that right now. Let's see, let's try to find a little hail and see if we have any hail. Well, let's go ahead and use this. And well, don't see a whole lot of hail happening out there. That's good. We certainly don't want to see that. You know, you get big enough hail, you can't have damage to your car if it's big enough hail. I mean, we're talking quarter-sized hail. Hail that's uncommon for us in California for sure. Not saying it doesn't happen. Happened to my car when I was up in Chico there about 15 years ago or so. But that was very unusual and it's very uncommon. But it does happen occasionally. Looking at the line of showers and thunderstorms that made their way through Visalia earlier on this afternoon. Looks like Visalia and on northward, and boy, the part that moved through Tulare itself, looks strong, but not quite as strong as what happened to Visalia. And again, further to the north, looks like it was a little bit stronger as it pushed into the foothills. And looking like a little bit, a little east of Porterville, some pretty strong, pretty heavy showers at least rolling through, and what's left of the thunderstorms going on at that region also here at latest check. But it's it. Strong line of thunderstorms moving their way through Fresno County and other parts of our area right now. And again, moving as we check in with the progress now of what's happening here. You know, let's just go to the latest and greatest time frame here. And again, looks like, again, really the south part of town, south of Highway 99 seems to be the part, this part of the cell right here looks like the angriest. So it's putting down the most rain, and that's going to be putting down, if there's going to be hail out of the storm, that's the primary place I would look for hail. I haven't seen any reports of that hail yet, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. And we take a look at that velocity loop again, and just a little quick check to see if we have anything that merits any kind of rotation going on, and I don't see that here. And what's this? That's the radar site right there. That's the Doppler radar site there in Hanford. Just in case you're curious about that. Now we look a little further around and don't really see any rotation going on in any of these storms. Nothing really jumps out at me, at least, unless I'm missing something. But I don't see anything here. So looks like if there is any kind of rotation or anything like that, I would think it's pretty weak. But these thunderstorms certainly can put down a lot of rain in a short amount of time. And again, you look over towards western Fresno County, and that looks pretty impressive right there. Again, out here, well, just a little bit east of I-5 there, just barely in Fresno, right, approaching the Kings County line. Still a little ways to go here. Well, let's measure it. And we see it's about 8 miles or so roughly from the Kings County line. So it's a little ways to go here before it approaches Lemoore and the Naval Air Station out there. But still, if we want to measure that, let's go ahead and measure that. So how far is the heart of this thunderstorm? Right here from downtown Lemoore, it's about 16 miles away at latest check. And if we erase this, and then we put this in motion here one more time and kind of get an idea roughly. Well, it doesn't really look like it's moving very much now, does it? Let's do it loop one more time here. And now let's just back it up a little bit and a little bit. So this is at 3:15. This is at 3:40-ish or so. So that's 25 minutes or so that it moves. Boy, how far? Let's see here. So we go from here to about here. 4, 5, 6 miles or so. Is that correct? Maybe a little more than that. So maybe 10 miles. Okay, so maybe doing 10, 20 miles an hour or so. So I guess it should make it towards Lemoore in the next half hour, 45 minutes. See if it continues on its latest path there or so. So again, probably a little sooner, obviously, towards the Naval Air Station, which is a little bit off towards the northwest of town. So again, just something to be aware of. That's certainly a very strong thunderstorm, not a severe thunderstorm, but certainly a very strong one. It certainly can be putting down a lot of rain and could be a little small hail embedded in all that activity as well. So again, just if you're outdoors, good idea to just go inside and hunker down there for 20 minutes and just watch the heavy rain pour out there for a little while and then come back on out and get back to whatever you're doing. Let's go back here to Fresno and we'll see the activity here in Fresno. Now it looks like the rain is also starting to push into Clovis. That northern part of the storm seems to be weakening there. If we put this into motion here and we see activity going on as it moves on through. And also, that just popped up. Let's just go to now. And now look behind it here. That's a little bit of hail right there that we had just to the west of town. That's interesting. Now, let's see how big that was. How big some of that hail was. And we're going to have to do it this way. It was 1/10 of an inch in diameter. That is pretty small. That's pea-sized at best. So that is small hail for sure. But nevertheless, a little bit of small hail. Just on the far west side of town. Boy, not really. Yeah, on the far west side of town, west of Highway 99, northwest side of town there, west of Highway 99. This little segment right here is a little bit of hail there. And you know what? Let's just take the radar off for a moment. And we see it. Oh, we can see it extends a little further into town there. Well, okay then, extending. A little further into town there. So again, a little small bit of hail there. Again, looking at the hail sizes, not very big. I'm seeing 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. Yeah, not very much at all. But a little bit of hail out there earlier on this afternoon. And let's put the radar back on here because it's a little more interesting, isn't it? So there we go. And you see the storm continuing to push off towards the east like that and towards central part of town, some good solid rain coming on down. Looks like we've got a little heavier rain in parts over towards, well, maybe we get to Clovis about now or so, and also backing up here towards town. But the heaviest and the strongest returns here, and the most rainfall is again down here towards a little bit off towards the east of downtown now, and especially further south of town as well. This area here seeing the heaviest rain and potentially a little bit of hail. You know what? Let's remove the radar real quick. And do we see hail? Not really. Okay, so it's just a rainmaker, but a lot of rain coming on down, I would imagine, at the latest check. Let's just check on the observation from Fresno, Yosemite, if we can here, and we'll see what we got. And from, well, they're not reporting anything yet, but that will change here very shortly. Okay, one real quick check of everything else out there, and then we'll get everybody back to what they were doing before. And again, looks like basically the storm in Fresno itself and off towards far western Fresno County. This one here in Fresno itself and this one here in far western Fresno County. Those are the two big ones out there to watch. Also watch for this one up here in parts of northern Merced County. Let's just put this in the last 30 minutes, and then we'll animate this and see how it goes. Yeah, you can see it kind of flared up there for a moment, and now it's kind of weakening a little bit, so it doesn't seem to be really developing very quickly, so that's okay. All right, if anything gets a little crazier, we'll come back and we'll update you on any severe weather potentially out there, but for now, we're going to wrap it up here, and we'll come back if there's anything significant continuing to develop.